everyone. Welcome back to the Minute Women podcast. My name is Grace.
And I'm Linnea.
It's our 50th episode.
It's 50. 50. That's like, we've done 10 episodes 5 times.
Or 10 episodes 5 times. Is that what you said?
That's what I just said.
5 episodes 10 times?
Yeah. Yeah.
Math has not improved over the
Nope.
course of 50-ish weeks.
50-ish weeks.
It's really kind of been a year. Like, I think it will be a year ago today that our first episode came out. Because we've taken a few little breaks. Yeah.
That's so freaking crazy.
I remember when the first 3 episodes came out.
too.
I was awake at like 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I was so excited and I listened to them back to back to back.
I had just flown in from the Caribbean to Ottawa.
That's
and I woke up
right.
that morning and I
got you at the
listened to them.
airport.
Yeah.
Mark did too.
Oh, yeah, you guys did.
We all went out
yeah.
and got Linnea at the airport.
Yeah, you fetched me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
In Susan, Mark's car.
Yeah.
And then we went and had a drink at Auction House right afterwards.
Yeah, we did. Like right after.
I know.
It was really nice.
Dwelling on the past.
The memories. Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID. And we've done so many cool episodes. It's just like,
many.
I mean, I don't want to get too sappy, too sentimental. But like,
let's do it.
let's
just
do it.
dive in there.
I'm just so proud because it took a lot, I think, for us to keep momentum going at certain
100%.
times, especially when right after we launched, basically, the world fell apart.
Yeah, the whole world.
We only recorded the first 7 in the studio.
Maybe.
Frontenac was the first episode we did via distance.
Yeah.
Because I was still in Halifax at that point, but you
Right.
had gone.
Right.
And so from then until, like, Viola Desmond, maybe?
I think Viola Desmond was our first one back in studio.
Yeah, so that was a solid 10 weeks,
Yeah.
maybe, of being, like,
Yeah.
recording in our bedrooms with these little mics. Like, totally, we were recording ourselves, so we had to learn how to do
Yeah.
that. And it would have been, I don't know, it would have been really easy to just say, like, let's wait until the world goes back to normal and,
But
like,
we
try
didn't.
again. But we didn't.
Because we are Canadians and we just power through inconvenient situations.
But and then, like, I was so happy that we did because, you know, there was really not a lot to look forward to
No, it's
for
so
a
true.
long time. So it was really nice to just have something in the week to look forward to. My whole week revolved around Wednesday.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the new episode to come out. I would go for a walk every morning on, like, a trail near our house, listen to the new episode in the snow.
Yeah. It became very much, well, since the pandemic has happened, a lot of different things have happened in my life, and I'm now not a permanent resident of the city anymore. And so the podcast has really become kind of my driving thing. Whenever I'm driving, I like take the opportunity to listen to our podcast, and it's just me alone, and it's something I can listen to. And it's just, it's almost the exact amount of time it takes me to get to Grace's apartment from my parents in Lunenburg. So
A standard episode of Minute Women podcast
yeah.
will get you from Lunenburg
will
to
get me
Halifax.
from Lunenburg to Halifax. So it's pretty great. By the time I hit the highway, I guess. So hit the highway to Grace's, it pretty much covers. So yeah, it's a special kind of thing we've got going.
I know.
And we've got some people who like us.
We got little fans.
We've got people who want to hear what we have to say.
I'm trying
to
to think of, like, we've interviewed people. We've had lots of guests on. We
Yeah.
met someone who stars in a Heritage Minute just in
Yeah.
a coffee shop. We met Julian Richings just after interviewing him
Yeah.
weeks earlier.
Yeah.
We just bump into
months
him
even
randomly.
earlier, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we met him, and yeah, we've had a couple of guests. We've got a few more guests that we want to have on the podcast.
We've been featured on other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
That's still a fun
That's
experience.
So crazy. We've been in the newspaper.
We've been in the newspaper.
In physical print, and on digital sites.
I'll never get over the fact that we are in physical print compared to Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, that happened. That guy, I owe that guy a lot of ego boosting.
The Canada Day edition of the Globe and Mail.
Shout out to the Globe and Mail. And we've just had some cool opportunities to be able to do this. And it's also really cool, even though, like, I said personally, I'm not living in Lunenburg right now, and I'm not in the city as frequently, but it still gives us something to do as friends together when I am here. It's special.
It's nice that we have like this little thing
together. It's
a little
special.
baby that we're raising.
It's our child. She's growing.
She's grown.
50 weeks.
She's 50 weeks old. And we've done 2 live shows.
We've done 2 live shows, and you were just starting to tell me in the car, but you didn't finish the story because you wanted to save it for here on the drive here. Apparently, you had a little bit of an interesting encounter after our most recent live show.
Yeah, so we just did a live show at Pickford and Black, which went really well, and thank you to everybody who came.
Thank you to everyone who came. Grace's parents came from
They
Cape Breton.
surprised me by just driving down, and it was so sweet. I was
so
genuinely
cute.
so surprised. I had no idea that they were coming down.
I was at the restaurant earlier than Grace, and they walked in, and I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then I was trying to think, because I'd been with Grace that day. I was like, did she mention that they were coming? I was like, no, I don't think so. And then as soon as I saw your mom was like, it's a surprise.
I can like picture exactly like.
She was like, oh, like quiet, quiet, quiet. Like you're not even there. And
No.
she's like, quiet, quiet, quiet. It's a surprise.
I think you were more emotional than I was. When I showed up, I was just waiting by the desk to. I mean, they were gonna come and then sit the people that I had come with. So I was just like, I'll just wait with these people and then I'll just waltz in, royalty.
Yeah.
But then you came by and you were like, you have to come with me. There's a surprise for you. And I was thinking, like, did Eric get me something? Like, was this something? Like, what is it? And then I was like, oh, maybe my parents sent something down. Like, maybe my parents sent me, like, or, like, bought me a pint or something. And then I turned the girl and I was like, oh, my parents are here.
They're
and then they forced my brothers to come.
I know.
Who live in the city.
But your mom also we took a lovely photo with us and your family. So I'm included. And did you see what I commented on it?
That you were replacing
Just
Colin.
call me Colin.
Well, Colin, my youngest brother, who couldn't be there.
He was at home with the dog.
He commented on it as well, and he was like,
I
guess you've replaced me. Just like... I guess I'm not needed.
I don't have him as a friend, so I guess I wouldn't see that. But that's funny. That's super funny.
Yeah. But on the walk home.
Oh, yeah.
On the walk home, me and 2 of my friends and my boyfriend, we were walking back to my place. And there was just a man across the street from us, kind of like swaying. Mind you, it's not even 11 o'clock on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Like, this is a weeknight, a work night. And he's just kind of there, and he seems like pretty put together, but clearly drunk. And he calls to us across the street. He's like, "Oi, can I borrow your phone?" I'm like, oh, this is like British drunk.
Yeah.
This is another level. This is another
next
tier. And so he like comes over to us, and we're just like, I don't know. He's like, I've got to call a cab. Can I borrow your phone? My phone is dead. And I was just like, no, like if you just go up to Barrington, it's really easy to flag a cab. He's like, where's Barrington Street? So we're like pointing to Barrington Street. I'm like, how is there a tourist here?
Yeah.
Like, how is a British tourist in the city right now? I don't understand. And so we're standing in front of the Queen's Marquee, which is this big, expensive, new luxury, like, condos and apartment building. And he just, like, points to me. He's like, I live there. What? Like, you live here? And it sounded like he had said, I lived here. So
It's brand new, though.
It's brand new. And Eric's like, it's kind of a new building. And he's just like, no, I live here. And so then Eric was like, they have drivers. So why don't you get a drive?
Super bougie, like very fancy.
He was also like, you can, and then Eric was like, you can go up and charge your phone then.
Or you can go up and use like
another
like
phone.
if there's another phone, or if you have like a computer. Like there are multiple, like we are in 2021, like there are multiple ways to get a hold of the people you need to get a hold of.
Yeah, he's just like, so Eric was like, you can go up and charge your phone. And he whips out his keys. He's like, you want to go up? You want to go out? And we're like, no. Like, you can go and charge your phone. And then he's just like, my wife said that I could drink as much as I want tonight, and I'm not done yet. And we're just like, well, all of the bars are closed. He's like, I'm going to my brother's. And we're like, all right, man, see ya.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh, I love that.
My wife said I can drink as much as I want, and I'm not done yet.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
My wife. That'd be a great t-shirt.
My wife
said
says,
I can drink as much as I want.
as long as I don't come home.
So maybe more interesting escapades will take place at our next live show.
Yeah, which is coming up on March 3rd. So
Yeah.
March 3rd is a Wednesday. It's going to be happening at the Garden Food Bar and Lounge, a beautiful restaurant off
So
of Queen
pretty.
Street.
So
Queen and
excited.
Clyde.
Yeah, corner of Queen and Clyde.
Quarter of Queen and Clyde. Can't talk. The corner taking place at the Garden Food Bar and Lounge on the corner of Queen and Clyde. It is a beautiful venue. My gosh, it is so pretty. Like it is like you're gonna just want to come so you can take pictures of yourself there.
Yes.
Like
it's the Instagram capital of Halifax,
oh,
I think.
100%. Like it is so stunning. Even the bathrooms are stunning.
And your mom is going to be there.
My mom is coming, and it's gonna be her. It's like her special birthday thing. So we have the tradition in our family for me and my mom and my sister only. Really, my birthday's in June, so my birthday is not a school day anyway. So, but you always get to do something fun for your birthday. But my mom and my sister. My mom is March 4th, and my sister is May 2nd. And when it's your birthday, you get to play hooky.
Oh.
Okay. And Peyton's father's a principal, so this is like pretty
big
legit.
deal.
So you get to play hooky. And sometimes if you can convince your friends' parents, everybody gets to play hooky. So yeah, my mom has some pull, let me tell you. Parents trust her.
Crazy.
So my mom's birthday is March 4th, and our show is on March 3rd. So she decided to come in, and she's gonna come to the show, and then she got a hotel room for us, and we're gonna go stay in a hotel and do brunch the next day. So
That sounds nice.
yeah, it's super cute. So yeah, super exciting, and it will be fun to have her there. She is, I wouldn't say that she is, she doesn't, I love my mother. I love her.
Always preface every statement you say about your mom with, I love my mom.
She doesn't have, she's not a podcast person. Like, she doesn't quite have the attention span for a podcast. It's not something, she doesn't have a commute to work.
Yeah.
She's still got, like, a 12-year-old at home who, like, takes up a lot of air time with her stuff, her music, whatever is cool right now, and TV and such. And at work, my mom doesn't work in kind of an environment as a secretary at a school where she can kind of be listening to stuff. Yeah, so she does listen to the podcast kind of when she's like at home. If she's like on a Sunday, she'll like put it on. But I don't know if she's ever sat and just like listened through a full episode. So this will be a good test of patience. I think it will help that we're like live and in person.
Yes.
It was funny because I read her and my stepdad my piece I did on Earl Bailey after our show.
Oh, yeah.
And my mom was like, yeah, I think that would be more interesting with Grace asking you questions. And I was like, thanks.
Well, yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Granted, I mean, if anyone just read my script, they'd be like, yeah, you get a C+ on your 6th grade assignment.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
job, and
on your
we're good to
theme,
go.
like Ralphie.
Your theme.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're coming to our live show on March 3rd at the Garden, 8 p.m. start time.
Yes.
$5 cover at the door. Minute Women drink specials all night. And I'm
Super
not talking like cheap drinks. I'm talking a Minute Women cocktail. Very cool, very highbrow.
we got to figure out the details on that. We don't know what it is yet, but
exactly.
We'll post it as soon as we know.
We'll post it.
We'll post it.
We're kind of a big deal. We've got to talk to their people. Yeah, so we hope to see you there. And if you are there, make sure you say happy birthday to my mom. I'll make sure to point out who she is because it's Lori's birthday.
Maybe, is she like someone who likes to have her birthday acknowledged, or is she like a very shy, doesn't like it?
Oh, no. My mom...
She's about it?
She's not... I wouldn't say that, like... She acknowledges her birthday too much, but my mom's whole philosophy on age is that like the alternative is death. So like live it up.
Might as well live.
Keep the birthdays coming. So yeah, she's definitely, she would be receptive to people wishing her a happy birthday, but like she would never do something to make a big deal.
Because I think we should do like a group singing of happy birthday to your mom
100%.
if she would be okay with that.
150%. Yeah.
Buy Lori shots all night.
Please. I'll take her back to the hotel room. Okay, so today, 50th episode.
50th episode.
Let's tell the people what we're doing.
So this one's a little different because to commemorate our 50th episode, 1 year of the Minute Women podcast. Our little podcast is 1 year old. I thought that we should revisit our very first episode.
Yes.
Because we've learned and grown and improved a lot since then. And there were so many things that I had to leave out of the Sir John A. Macdonald episode that I wanted to come back and talk about.
Yeah.
Because he's just such a funny person.
Oh, yeah.
In general.
Hell yeah. We have had so many moments in like podcasts after that one, like podcast episodes that we have like brought up John A. or John A. has been involved or included somehow. Yeah, and that episode still, I will say, is definitely in my top 5 of our
episodes.
Holds up,
for
it's
sure.
a good. There are some funny bits. Like we came up with some good funny stuff.
Naive, young,
naive little us,
bright-eyed.
Yeah, that was
bushy-tailed.
Les Mis yourself though.
Was that Go Les Mis
I
yourself?
think it was. No,
No, that was
No.
Laura Secord.
that was Laura Secord. John A. Macdonald though was the Spice Girl bit.
Spice
The
Girls.
whispers.
Yeah, yeah. What spice did we say she was?
Cardamom.
Cardamom.
Didn't you?
Maybe that's what my brain went to, but I
Yeah.
don't remember my own jokes.
Who knows? Who knows? We're just maybe they're not that funny. I don't know.
So I think we should just consider this episode like an appendix to episode 1. So if
Like-
you have not listened to episode 1, this is a great time to go back and listen to it.
This is episode 50.1/B.
Yes.
Or like dash B.
1/B.
Yeah.
This is kind of part 2 of episode 1, but is also episode 50. I'm calling it John A. Macdonald, the Drunken Appendix. It's also funny because, like, this week we are covering the stories left out from the first episode of our podcast that covers the stories that are left out of Canada's national history.
Yes. Yes, we are.
So I found this article published on the National Post by Tristan Hopper from 2015.
Okay,
and he
Tristan.
describes some of the stories that I had previously left out. So thanks, Tristan, for being my like primary source on this.
To the Who Post?
To the National Post.
The National Post.
The Who Post? The National Post. And as you may have guessed, most of these anecdotes are a result of John's fondness for the bottle.
Yeah.
He's a big hard liquor fan.
God, that man loved
Soft
the booze.
liquor, hard liquor.
He loved trains and he loved the booze.
Trains and booze. And it's well known that Canada's first prime minister was a bit of a drinker.
Yeah.
But history has largely forgotten just how hard John A. Macdonald hit the bottle.
Oh, God.
Like, he got belligerent at dinner parties. He'd disappear on day-long benders.
Well, he was 4 months late for a conference.
4 months late
now,
to the London
travel
conference.
was a bit different back then. So, like, I kind of...
You can't blame it wholly on
can't
drinking,
blame it all on him.
but it's got to be part of it.
Yeah. Okay, hit me with it.
And he's repeatedly showing up to Parliament so blasted that he could barely talk, despite the fact that he's such a gifted orator. It would have destroyed a lot of lesser politicians, but the fact that Canada tolerated McDonald's boozing for so long may just be the greatest testament to how skilled he was when he was sober.
Wow.
Even,
Okay, that should be on his tombstone.
It's like when he was sober, he was amazing.
Yeah.
Hope that you get sober McDonald.
Yeah.
Even by the drunken standards of 19th century Canada, and even in a profession where most of his contemporaries were perpetually buzzed, McDonald's consumption was shocking to many. So, like, everybody's always a little bit drunk, and they look at him and they're like, whoa. This is not good.
It's like he's so drunk he sobers you up. Like
That is so true. Have you ever been, like, drinking and you see
100%.
someone else being really drunk?
Yeah.
And it's not really a blind leading the blind situation.
No.
It is very much like a, I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that anymore. I'm going to stop. I got to, like,
Yeah.
just take a cold shower.
Yeah. You're just like, excuse me. You're just at a host party and you're like, hello, could you tell me where the local ladies' room is? I need to douse myself in ice cold water.
It's just an emotional cold shower. You're just standing there and you're like, okay. So magistrates would drink in court. British soldiers, unlucky enough to be stationed in Canada, were fortified against miserable weather by industrial outlays of rum. So they're not, like, given uniforms. They're like, and your monthly allotment of rum.
Nice.
There you go. Across the border, Americans downed the equivalent of as much as 26 liters of pure alcohol every year. So that's not like a beer, like 26 liters of beer. That's just the alcohol content.
That's insane. It's like absinthe. Everybody's drinking absinthe.
Yeah. And on top of that, visitors from America who would come to Canada were like, whoa, Canadians drink. So these people who are drinking 26
proud
liters,
of it.
they're like, they've got a problem. I'm fine.
So Lunenburg liquor store, the NSLC in Lunenburg, has the highest amount of, I need to get this right. They have the highest amount of rum selection. They have the largest rum selection per capita in North America.
Nice.
Yeah. So because Lunenburgers like to drink rum, it's a thing, but it is crazy. Like the rum section takes up as much as like a wine section, like a normal liquor store.
I'm pretty sure that Nova Scotia Liquor Corporation is like the second biggest purchaser of rum in the world, or at least in North America, because everywhere else, rum is not like a primary liquor. Like rum is the most purchased liquor in a liquor store in Nova Scotia.
Oh, 100%.
Like of hard liquors.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, it would be either vodka or whiskey. I'm not
Vodka
sure.
or whiskey, yeah.
Colonial politics, in particular, centered around drinking. Political meetings were held in saloons. Political parties used them as their headquarters. And during elections, they often doubled as voting places.
Wow.
Imagine if that's how you get people to vote.
Yeah.
Is you put voting booths in bars.
Or you just have an open bar at your like voting place. It's usually at fire halls and stuff. Like at least in Lunenburg, you just open up the bar. You're like, everybody who comes in gets one free bevy.
You get one free drink, and it's neutral. It's not making you vote.
No,
for
you
a
don't,
certain
and you don't
party.
have to drink.
And you don't have to drink.
But that's how you get people to vote.
Yeah, and then you could also have little bar snacks. Be great.
I love chips.
Make voting a party.
Yeah.
This is my proposal for electoral reform. Is just allow there to be alcohol consumption at the voting booth before or after voting, not before.
Yeah, you vote and then you get to
and
go
then you
get
to party. Yeah.
We should have voting parties like that for our friends. We should all get we should all have a big party and then go vote and then go back and party some more and be like a day drinking event.
Yeah, we should do next time there's an election. That's what we should do, and we should make a video of it, and we should go and we'll all go with our friends. We'll all go vote. When you come out, we'll have a 2-4, and we hand it out
exactly.
when you come out.
Exactly.
In both Canada and the United States, politics was also a profession in which one could maintain a perpetual blood alcohol content without eliciting much suspicion.
Okay.
Any of the liberal professions, journalists, artists, politics, lawyers, were basically treated like fraternities, and you were expected to drink as part of observing the culture of the group.
Wow.
Imagine you go into your law office and you're like, hi, I'm in for a DUI. And they're just like, fuck those cops, man. You don't deserve that. You deserve to be treated better.
I do deserve to be treated better. Can I have a sip of the beer you're holding?
And then they go into the court and the judge is just passed out.
And he's just like, oh yeah, fucking cops.
Fucking cops, man.
Goodbye.
It's fine.
You're
so cool. Have I ever told you that? You look fucking cool, man.
You look just like my brother.
We should hang out.
I love my brother.
Oh my god. I love my brother. I love my brother. He's dead because the fucking servant killed him after he got too drunk on gin. I don't think this alcoholism is connected to that.
Not at all.
I think this is fine. Fine. I'm fine. On June 1st, 1866, the citizens of the Niagara Peninsula awoke to find themselves overrun in a foreign attack.
Ooh.
It was the Fenians.
The who?
The Fenians.
Like Finnish? Like
nope.
Finland?
This is the Irish nationalist movement that we've talked about,
Oh,
where
the
they were like,
Fenians.
you know how we will have an Irish homeland? We will invade Canada, and then Queen Victoria will have to give us Ireland if she wants Canada back.
And how many guys plan on doing this?
It was a pretty big movement. They attacked Canada pretty rigorously
From boats? Like,
from America. So they're in the United States. Like a lot of them are veterans of the American Civil War, and they're really battle hardened. And so then they unite after the American.
so where'd they come in? Like, they just...
The peninsula, the Niagara Peninsula. So it's a land and sea or land and lake invasion, I suppose.
Okay.
So they're attacking north of the border in hopes of taking enough land that Queen Victoria will be like, all right, take Ireland back. It doesn't work out.
No.
As you might have guessed.
As we've talked about in my live show, that's Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Queen Elizabeth, she's awesome. But this is Victoria. Victoria, still badass.
Victoria was kind of a badass. She definitely prolific.
Oh, yeah.
Forever.
Scary. Yeah. Those queens don't die.
They don't.
They don't die easy, that's for sure.
Alarms soon sounded through Upper Canada as Toronto regiments were assembled and university students were pulled out of final exams and whisked to the border.
Okay.
So it's like, all right, we've got a foreign invasion on our hands. All hands on deck. Meanwhile, the colony's minister of the militia was nowhere to be found.
Oh, interesting.
John A. Macdonald was completely oblivious to the invasion. So at this time, he is the colony's minister of the militia.
And where is he?
Because he was totally wasted.
Okay.
Telegraphs poured in, and he was simply too drunk to even read them, let alone respond and do anything about it.
Oh, my.
Historian Ged Martin looked at this as a case of John A.'s drunkenness and concluded that there are two potential scenarios. One, John A. was just drunk a lot and was on a bender, and the Fenians happened to invade. Or he heard about the invasion, panicked, and started drinking.
Started getting wasted.
Martin ultimately concludes that John A. Macdonald was a typical binge drinker. He's sober most of the time, but then he's prone to really dramatic lapses of sobriety. I would love if that's what drunkenness was called. No, I wasn't drunk. I had a lapse in sobriety.
I love that.
In 1868, Prince Arthur, the son of Queen Victoria, arrived in Canada as an officer with the Montreal detachment of the Rifle Brigade and undertook a year's training and engaged in defending the Dominion from the Fenian raids. There was initially concern that his personal involvement in Canada's defense might put the prince in danger of the Fenians and their supporters in the United States, but it was decided his military duty was primary. So this is when princes really serve in the military.
Right.
Yeah. Following his arrival at Halifax, Arthur toured the country for 8 weeks.
Oh.
During his service in Canada, he was also entertained by Canadian society. Among other activities, he attended an investiture ceremony in Montreal, was a guest at balls and garden parties, and attended the opening of Parliament in Ottawa, becoming the first member of the royal family to do so.
Oh, Arthur.
All of which was documented in photographs that were sent back for the Queen to view.
He's just living his best life.
Yeah. So Prince A also met John A.
Nice.
And nice. And while he was in the country, and at this official luncheon, John A. Macdonald was so drunk that he could barely stand up.
And what did Prince A have to say about that to Mummy?
It seems like
or
he
is that
was
his
just
wife? Is Victoria his wife?
Victoria's his mom.
His mom. Right?
And he's just like,
what did he write back to Mummy?
He's like, all right. Their leader is particularly hungover today.
He is pissed drunk, Mummy.
Mum, I don't want to use this language, but he's pissed drunk. I think he lives in the Queen's Marquee.
She's like,
I live here.
She's like, that's the Canadians, Ducky. Don't worry. Don't worry. They get the job done.
So, yeah, he's just at very critical moments. He's very, very drunk. My favorite story, though, happens while he's in London.
Okay.
The birthplace of getting drunk.
Yep.
While in London for the London conference, so after he's finally shown up, Macdonald was no stranger to drinking in London. In fact, he'd already been made an honorary member of one of the most exclusive gentlemen clubs in all of London.
Shut up.
The Athenian Club is still there today, right in the middle of the city, between Downing Street and Piccadilly Circus. Many of the most famous people in Britain have been getting drunk there for nearly 200 years.
Nice.
Members have included Darwin, Dickens,
Wow.
Churchill, Kipling, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the Duke of Wellington, T.S. Eliot, W.B. Yeats, Thomas Hardy, Michael Faraday, Sir Walter Scott. The list goes on. It became one of Macdonald's favorite spots to visit while he was staying in London. And it was far from the only place where he drank while he was in town.
So we're like, oh, well, he's not British, but he'd be like, oh, I'm late for this thing. I'm just gonna go get drunk over here.
Honestly, I'm already 15 minutes late,
Yeah, I'm
so it's
over it.
probably worth me just not going.
I'm over it.
It's like when you miss your first class.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm like 10 minutes
Yeah.
late. It would just be weird if I just showed up.
He was already in England for that meeting, for that conference, but he was only like 10 minutes late, but he was like, screw it, I'm just gonna go get drunk.
It'd be weird if I just walked in, right?
Yeah, right.
And then that turned into a 4-month bender.
Yeah. And then he shows up. He's like, hello, I'm British now.
Finally. I've arrived. I'm so drunk that I'm British now. I love that we're talking about this, and like normally, like not normally, but every once in a while we'll have a beer. But today we've decided for bubbly.
Yeah.
Or bubbly.
Little bubbly, little Canadian action. I actually don't know if bubbly is Canadian.
They
proudly
definitely
bottled in Canada.
bottled in Canada. They definitely have catered to the Canadian audience.
Oh, 100%.
By making an actual like Canadian good commercial.
By putting Michael Bublé in it,
Yeah.
and making it a bit,
Making it a
it
bit.
funny.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it's good. It's my favorite seltzer.
It's
I'm not a huge
so
seltzer
good.
person, but
I wasn't a seltzer person until I discovered the bubbly.
hey, bubbly or buble,
Sponsor us.
if you want to.
you want.
I'd even just take a 2-4.
Yeah.
Send me a 2-4 of that pineapple or the peach.
If you got
It's good.
T-shirt, I'll wear it.
I would love a bubbly t-shirt.
Yeah.
That'd be cute.
Yeah.
We can make it say buble.
Yeah.
On ours.
It'd be funny if they had T-shirts that already did that. Like they had it
They
scratched out.
probably
They
do.
probably do.
They're-
It's quite a bit.
They've got smart branding and marketing.
Yep. Okay, so
So he's in London
he's in London.
at the Athenaeum Club.
Right.
The London conference was being held just a few blocks away from the Athenaeum Club at the Westminster.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, if it is a coincidence, it's not good.
Not good.
It's being held at the Westminster Palace Hotel right across the road from Westminster Abbey. The delegates spent their days in a big room on the main floor working out the details of the bill that would need to be passed by the British Parliament. Macdonald, as always, led the way. One British official called him, quote, the ruling genius and spokesman, end quote. By the end of the conference, he was a celebrity in England and getting recognized in the streets of London.
Nice.
People
the
are-
Brits like him. That
Yeah.
says a lot.
At night, the delegates would head upstairs to sleep. Macdonald, whose wife Isabella had died many years earlier after battling with illness and apparently an opium addiction,
We didn't
which is
know about
also
that.
something we did not talk about.
This is new. That makes sense.
But it makes sense if she had chronic pain and they were just giving her
Right.
opium all the time.
right.
She was probably having some withdrawals,
Of course.
as well. So he has a room all to himself because
Oh.
it's like he has no wife.
Nice.
So that's where he was on a Wednesday night, just a couple weeks before Christmas, reading the day's newspaper in bed. He had already changed into his old-timey pajamas.
Cute.
A candle flickered on the night bedside table.
He's Ebenezer Scrooge. You're
Kind of.
setting the scene for a Christmas story.
He's gonna have a moment where they're like but all three ghosts show up at the same time, and they're like,
Yeah.
"You just need to stop drinking so much."
Can you just not drink?
You'd be a really good politician if you weren't drunk all the time. A candle flickered on the bedside table, and while there is, of course, no detailed record of just how much Sir John A. Macdonald had been drinking that night, it seems very likely that alcohol helped him go to sleep.
Okay.
So it seems like he's pretty drunk.
okay.
Because what he wakes up to is the smell of his own burning flesh.
Oh.
So he'd passed out while reading the paper, and the candle tipped over, and it set the whole room on fire.
Holy crap.
But he's so blackout that he doesn't notice.
Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Just do a lap. And it's a Wednesday.
So, well, the day of the week doesn't matter. Maybe that's his Friday. I don't know. I don't judge. But his skin's burning, and that's how he woke up?
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm on fire. And not in a good way.
Okay.
The curtains, the sheets, and the blankets, even the pillow underneath his head and the nightshirt he was wearing were on fire.
Holy.
It took that much fire to wake him up.
So what does he do?
Also, this was just like months after he had become the first prime minister.
Okay.
So he's like brand new.
This is fresh into his career.
And he's on fire. Suddenly awake, he leapt to his feet and tore the blazing curtains from the window and stomped out the flames. He ripped off the burning blankets from his bed and doused them with water from a jug on his nightstand.
Okay.
Then Sir Georges-Étienne Cartier came to his rescue.
Okay.
As Macdonald's bed and curtains smoldered, the two most notable leaders of French and English Canada worked together to make sure the flames were completely smothered.
Oh.
And also, these guys did not get along all the time.
This is such a nice Canadian story.
I know.
That should be a Heritage Minute. John
Just-
A. blackout, falls asleep, and then he comes in. Now that's what the people want.
That's
historic
what people
in
want.
Canada.
I agree. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's also, if this were a movie about the conflicts between Georges Etienne and John
Yeah.
A. Macdonald and the birth of a nation, this would be kind of the crux point where it's like, look at them working together.
Yeah.
Like, Georges Etienne could have let him die, but he didn't.
Exactly.
He helped him put out the fire.
Exactly.
Save his life.
Like the climax of a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was only then that Macdonald noticed just how badly he'd been burned.
Oh no.
His hair and his hands and his forehead were all burned.
Oh.
But the wound on his shoulder was the worst. If it weren't for the thick flannel shirt he'd been wearing under his nightshirt, he admitted, I would have been burned to death. The flannel saved his life.
And-
this is the most Canadian story ever.
And that's why I wear flannel every opportunity I
Yeah.
can get, including to bed.
I always wear flannel pajamas.
Yeah.
Flannel pajamas are the best.
Yeah.
Just for like lounging and stuff.
Just for chilling. Just even like just a flannel like PJ shirt.
Yeah. Or flannel sheets.
Yeah.
I don't have flannel sheets anymore.
I do.
But they're a nice winter
I
set.
love that.
So cozy.
Yep.
Suffering from those injuries and a subsequent infection led to Sir John A. Macdonald being bedridden for 8 straight days.
Oh.
But honestly, that's a quick recovery for what sounds like 2nd or 3rd degree burns.
And sounds like you could have like almost died.
Also,
like, very-
almost died. Smoke inhalation for sure.
Oh, for sure.
So one final story.
Oh, okay.
Drunken escapades
I'm
of Sir
excited.
John A. Macdonald.
I'm not ready for it to be over.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
In 1863, John A. Macdonald was campaigning to regain power in the colonies. In December of 1863, Canada West MP Albert Norton Richards accepted the post of Solicitor General and had to face a by-election. John A. Macdonald campaigned against Richard personally.
Oh.
In January of 1864, he went to a colleague's constituency to make a speech. Heavy drinking had made him somewhat worse for wear. While listening to a speech by a Liberal, he threw up on the platform.
Oh my.
So he's like up on the
God.
stage, puking out his guts, but he recovers so gracefully. So like, where most people would be like, oh my God, I just like
Yeah.
threw up on stage. He goes up, begins his speech by saying, Mr. Chairman and gentlemen, I don't know how it is, but every time I hear Mr. Jones speak, it just turns my stomach.
Nice.
Like, boom.
There
It's like,
goes the dynamite.
boom goes the dynamite. You're like
Boom.
opposition. It's just like, oh, this isn't from the drinking. I just puke every time I hear this guy talk.
Because it's such garbage.
It's such trash.
trash.
A potential disaster was dissolved in a roar of laughter. So Tristan Hopper closes his article by just like listing off the top tier drunken political leaders in history.
Who are they?
So you know, like Winston Churchill is
Yeah.
often on that list.
Known for boozing.
Yeah, known for a little bit of drinking, and he definitely had some weird tendencies. Like he'd be like naked a lot.
Yeah.
And he would talk to
loved
his dead
baths.
mom.
He loved to bathe.
Yeah, he would like talk to ghosts.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Genius has a little madness.
there you go. But in truth, he was rarely seen drunk at work.
In public.
And it's actually largely to his own boastful stories. Like he would be like, I can drink so much and I do a lot. And they're like, okay, Winston.
Okay, Winston.
Ulysses S. Grant, who ran the United States at the same time as Macdonald, was running Canada, is also a well-acknowledged drinker.
Okay.
But he also would time his stupors. Like, he had a very good sense of, like, I can't be drunk right now.
Yeah, so he wouldn't be.
So he wouldn't be. But then when he wanted to get drunk, he would, like, go into an absolute stupor.
Oh, yeah.
So Tristan Hopper concludes that really only Boris Yeltsin, who's the first president of the Russian Republic, could be said to have been comparable to Sir John A. Macdonald, stumbling in public and being too drunk to attend state events, and many other lapses.
Yeah.
But where Yeltsin is widely seen as this drunken clown who handed Russia to oligarchs like Vladimir Putin,
Yeah.
Macdonald's record kind of stands the test of time in a lot of ways, except for the cultural genocide.
I was just going to say, except for the fact that he was a big racist.
Other than the cultural genocide of Canada's First Nations
Which we
people.
fully recognize.
Which we fully recognize.
And we recognize is absolutely awful and, like, yes, terrible, awful, bad.
Yeah. And, like, people were tired of him.
Yeah.
But his authority is rarely questioned.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, drinking is such a huge part of his career.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to, like, disentangle them. Like, even the thing that gets him kind of impeached, the thing that gets him kicked out of office the first time around is because he probably was too drunk to realize that he shouldn't telegraph. I believe it was a rail line, and he was asking them for money.
Right.
To, like, support his campaign.
Right.
And so it's like, he was too drunk to realize that you shouldn't do that.
He was probably just wasted.
Yeah. So it definitely interferes with his career a lot. But that being said, in general, I think people look at his ability to form Canada as a nation and they're like, well, I mean, he was doing bad shit, but he was doing the bad shit really well.
Yeah. He was killing it.
Killing it. Literally.
And his
Killing
liver.
lots of people.
Yeah.
And his liver.
Yeah.
So John A. Macdonald, the Drunken Appendix.
I love it. I love it. I'm glad to know that he was definitely committed to something. Because I mean, like, Canadian politics, I mean, he seemed brilliant at it, but he seemed to be a little bit like, meh. But, like, drinking, that's where he could commit.
Yeah.
So drunk you don't wake up when your arm is burning. That's a...
Oof. Yeah, when I read that, I was
level.
like, yikes.
Yikes.
And then also, it's funny because he kind of recovers from his alcoholism, or I don't know if you can say he was an alcoholic. I don't know. I saw some articles that were like, it's hard to put a medical definition on what he had, but whatever.
Right.
He stops drinking really heavily in the back half of his career. Okay. And I genuinely think it's because he just had trains. Like, I think it's because he just had something to focus on.
Needed something else to focus on.
So he pours all his time and energy. He also had a new wife by that point. So I feel like he was just, his life was going a bit better, and he's not drinking as much.
Yeah.
And so he builds the Canadian Pacific Railway.
Just has a bit of an addictive personality.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Burning in his Scrooge pajamas.
Yeah, the ghosts were gonna come, but they were like, fuck it, he's long gone. Like,
they tipped over the candle.
Yeah.
They
were like, boop. Yeah. So, with our 50th episode and 1 year anniversary coming up, Grace has been working her little keister off on some very exciting stuff for you guys.
So we've been talking about merch for a long time.
For so long.
And I want to
Feels like a year.
It feels like a year. I think in our first episode, we were like, that'd make a great t-shirt.
Yep.
Thanks to the boys at Canadian Politics is Boring, Reese and Jesse, for showing me this. But there's a website called TeePublic.
Yep.
And we are going to be opening the Minute Women store this week on TeePublic. So I think we're going to launch on February 26th, which is our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah,
that's the day we started.
1 year release of the first 3 episodes.
Yeah. So we're going to launch with a couple of designs. There will be t-shirts and stickers and hoodies, and you'll be able to pick and choose as you please. Also, as I've come to realize, it's pretty easy to, like, figure out a design. So if there's anything that you want in the store, please let us know. Send us a DM if there is just, like, anything, literally anything that you would want to have and you want to help support the podcast.
Exactly. I actually had a friend bring up, she was like, oh, remember when we did that beaver bit? Like, that was funny. And I was like, oh, I completely forgot we even did that. This year has been such a blur with COVID and the pandemic. But yeah, if there's any designs or things that we have said that you think are funny, please let us know and we can make a t-shirt just for you.
We can make one just for you. We can make you a sticker. We can make you a tote bag. There's so many
Yep.
different options
So many
and
things.
so many different designs.
Mugs
So,
and phone cases and buttons.
yes, it'll all be available to you.
Yeah. And us.
So you-
I'm intending to buy some Minute Women
Oh,
merch.
I'm going to buy Minute Women merch the minute that it's out.
That's what everyone's getting for Christmas. You get a button. You get a
You get a
sticker.
So
We'll be posting about it on all our social media avenues, so you can follow along with the merch release on our Instagram at Minute Women Podcast and on Facebook at Minute Women Podcast and then on Twitter at the Minute Women. And there we'll have all the information, when things are being released, what is being released, little teasers. So we hope that you will tune into that and follow along and get yourself some Minute Women merch.
yeah, get yourself some merch. Maybe you can get some merch, and then you can come to a live show, and you'll be wearing Minute Women merch.
Oh my God, that's like, I'll just cry. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you really like us.
You like us.
So you can you'll be able to check out the Minute Women podcast store on TeePublic on February 26th, which is a Friday. It's this Friday.
That's crazy.
And so that'll be teepublic.com. So T like T-E-E. And if you just look for Minute Women podcast in the store, it'll pop up. But if you want to be specific, it's Minute Women or teepublic.com/Minute Women podcast. And there's a dash between Minute Women
and
podcast.
Cool.
Cool. It's
This is
so
so
crazy.
exciting.
I'm so excited to have
I'm so
merch.
excited
Oh my
too.
God.
Also, as some special content, Grace and I actually watched the newest Heritage Minute, which is
Yeah.
on Oscar Peterson.
Yeah.
Peterson,
Peterson.
who was a African Canadian pianist, and it talked about kind of his life and his what brought him to learn the piano, and it was so good. And we actually took a very special video of our live
Yeah.
reactions, so we will be getting that out soon as well, and have that posted for you guys to see. But please, if you haven't watched the minute, even if you have, post your own reaction videos or your own kind of reviews of it and let us know what you think. Tag us in it, and we'd love to chat with you about it and share it on our social media.
I think my main takeaway was that he is like one of the coolest nicknames that's been featured in a Heritage Minute.
Yes.
The man with 4 arms.
Yeah, the 4 hands.
Four
the man with
hands.
4 hands.
So cool.
Yeah, that's
Love
a cool
that.
name.
And as always, you can find us on whatever podcast platform you like to listen to, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. Download the new episodes, subscribe so you know when they're coming out. We do come out with an episode every Wednesday. Next week, we are taking a week off those so we can prep and be ready for season 4 of the Minute Women
Crazy.
podcast. But make sure you check us out there. Make sure you're subscribed and leave us a review and a rating. In addition to buying merch, it is the best way to support the podcast. Let us know what you think. And yeah, keep an ear out for season 4.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be doing this with anybody else, buddy.
Nope, just you.
Bye.
Bye.